Hello everyone and welcome to another Wilds of Eldraine draft. And this is my draft number 20 on the channel of this format, so I will try to make the draft portion a little bit faster than usual. Maybe I don't have to explain everything. Here we have decent options. There's a Torch the Tower is the best common, could be the best card in the pack. I like the Courtier, I like the Howling Galefang and the Dream Thief. This rare is nice, but not like a bomb rare, and it's 2 colors, so I'm not taking that. I think the best card is the Torch the Tower in terms of pack one, pick one. It's the most flexible pick and a high quality removal, so I'm going to take that from the first pack. And here, okay, I could continue with red. I could take the Rat Catcher Trainee. I also like the Veteran. This is maybe a little bit better than the Veteran. There's also the Ruby Daring Tracker. If I was red green, I mean, if I knew I'm gonna draft it like this was pack 2 and I already had both red and green, I would of course take this over the other options. But I think if I want to stay flexible, I'm going to take the Trainee here. And yeah, because if I take that and won't end up in green, it's a wasted pick basically. And this is close enough in its power level that it's gonna be the pick here, keeping as open as possible. And for example here, well, there is a green card, it's also a green-white card, but there's no mono green card. So had I taken the Ruby, well, I would just take the Yena and it's easy to splash it, but it's possible green won't be that open. Now, is the pick still gonna be the Yena? Because I could also be red-white splashing for Yena. The Shara is good. It's a fairly weak pack, and the Yena is enough, better than the other options in here. There's also the Dragon, but I don't think it's that great here. So I think I'll take this. I could take a Gingerbread and really just force this base red aggressive archetype, but I mean, if I get this at pick 3, it's possible. I have the colors open enough that I can actually support that playing that card. Okay, well, this is another Gingerbread now. I could have really, if I took the Gingerbread from the previous pack, which was a legit option, I would be just taking maybe another one of those. But since I didn't, I think I'll take the Grabby Giant. It will create the treasure token to help splashing this if I end up either red-green or red-white. Red Cap Thief also does makes me have the treasure token, but this is the better card, so I'm gonna choose this one right now. And I don't have to be married to the Yena pick here. And what is going on? So we had some maybe a weak-ish packs there, and then there's a Torch the Tower number 2, there's a Utopia Sprawl, there's a Hamlet Glutton. All of these are really good cards. Alright, I mean, I'm gonna take the Torch the Tower, but this pack maybe indicates that green has to be open. There's both the Glutton and the Utopia Sprawl. And why no one took the Torch the Tower here? I don't know. I'm gonna take that, but it's a really odd pack. And then I actually don't get anything green, so I mean I do get, but these are not really that great of a card. I mean the best card in the pack is the creature land here. I don't know if I'm gonna play blue at any capacity, but I don't really care about these other cards. If I knew I was red-white, maybe one of these would be reasonable, but now I'll take this. I could end up in red-green easily. No, blue-red easily here. And then of course this Restless Spire will be easily the strongest pick of those all. Alright, so Curse of the Werewolf versus maybe the Abure's Attendants. I had like a mixed signals from the green color. Is there a chance that the dual color, the uncommon, is coming back? The mana, the thing that taps for mana? Because I have seen some green and red come quite late, so it's possible that the card that is red and green will come back to me. So I think, even though I like the Attendants, I think I can live without it. I'm gonna take this in case green is after all open, although this pack doesn't indicate anything of the sort. I'll take, okay, let's keep the blue option open. I could take a white card, but I'm not particularly a big fan of picking those cards. If I took something white, it would have to be like a little bit of a better card. I'll take this. I really like the Coralsmith as a 3-drop. Alright, the Witch Stalker. The red-green archetype is kind of the power 4 creator, but I think that archetype has kind of failed. This is never really that amazing of a card. Of course, the red-green color combination is good. you can have a good green and good red cards, but the theme is really not very good. Am I gonna take the Candy Trail or something like? I don't actually care about anything. I'll take the Ice Out if I end up red blue. Maybe I care about having that card. Was this the pack that had the red green 2-drop? It's possible. I'll take the Brave the Wilds, because if I end up red green, this is actually allowing me to splash the red tooth regent here. Wow, that's a pretty late Archive Dragon. Well, I'm gonna take it now. Alright, so I'm gonna be red something, probably. I guess I could still be blue-green. Here, I'll just take the Bruiser. It's fine, nothing amazing though. Okay, quick study as a last pick. Okay, what do we have in here? Well, there's no Thoughts the Tower now, making it an easy pick, but there are definitely options here. There's the Veteran and the Firebolt as the options for the mono red picks. There's a Utopia Sprawl and the Root Rider Fawn for green, and of course blue has the Farsight Ritual, but I don't think it's necessarily even that important. I got already a 2-drop, 2 cards drawing card from blue. Yeah, the thing is, I don't know if I can be red and green here. The green stuff is not that amazing. Maybe the Yena is quite nice if you can have quite easily some roll tokens to go with it. So, I mean, I don't kind of want to commit to the green here yet. I think I'll just take the Veteran here after all. Aggressive red, it's gonna be fine. Hatching Plans, okay. I already have, by the way, 2 Thoughts the Towers, and, these things have bugging. But the thing is, there's yet another Thoughts the Tower here. Wow. Also, the second Shadow I see here. Okay, then. I mean, the option is, the pick is going to be between the Thoughts the Tower and Hatching Plans. In my previous draft, I had a couple of Hatching Plans, and it was glorious, of course. But this is such a nice card. I don't know. Is there a chance this comes back to me? There's a chance, but I don't know. I think this is just so good, though. I'm gonna take the Thoughts in here. Another Farsight Ritual, another Ratcatcher Trainee. There's nothing like that from green that excites me, so I think I will ignore the green, and this is probably going to be blue-red. And now, with that in mind, is it gonna be the Ratcatcher Trainee or the Farsight Ritual or the Gatekeeper? Let's cut the green for now. How does the deck look like? I need some early drops. I'm not sure if this is the best thing for the blue-red deck. I think it's still safer to take the 2-drop. It's gonna be the safest one. And it does create me a couple of these rat tokens, which I can use as a bargain fodder for the Thoughts the Tower. And this is a weak pack. I don't know if I'm going to play 2 quick studies. I even might get some of those Farsight Rituals back. I saw 2 of them. The Crescendo is maybe not the blue-red card here. But am I gonna splash any of this stuff here? I don't think they are very good, so I'm gonna just take the quick study. There's a chance I, at least post-sideboarding, will play 2 quick studies in certain matchups. Although I do believe that there's a chance to get those Farsight Rituals also back. Alright, so is it gonna be the Alchemist or the Edgewall pack? There's also an Evolving Wilds, but I don't think I needed that. There's a nice green card too, but I made up my mind that I'm not going to play green in here. I think it's again safer to play the 2-drop, and this is actually the premium 2-drop for this archetype. And Disdainful Stroke is nice. There's also Into the Fair Court. Okay, some green stuff in here too. So, but the decision is between the Stroke and the Court. I think I have 2 quick studies, so maybe I don't need these. I'll take the Disdainful Stroke. It's quite nice. I'm not sure if I'm gonna main deck it, but especially from the at least from the sideboard, it can be quite good. Okay, now someone is getting good green cards late here. The Hamlet Glutton, I will be passing here, of course. Transmuter, Slinger. Yeah, I think I have some too, so I'll take the Transmuter. I don't have anything, too many expensive cards in here, so let's just take this over there. 2-drop, I might not really need that much right now. Okay, so Stopgap, Spellcaster. I like the Stopgap, especially if I can get the Hatching Plans back. I mean, if I knew I'm gonna get the Hatching Plans, this would be the pick. But I think this also can do some work in this deck. But I think I'll play. I mean, there's a chance I get the Hatching Plans back, so I should maybe take the Stopgap. I don't need this draw effect. It's a 7 mana effect as well, so quite expensive. I'll take the Slinger now. Defenses. Okay, I got the Hatching Blast back, so this was the perfect outcome for me, of course. I took the Torch Tower. I have now at least 4, maybe even more cards that can allow me to, bargain this thing away. And here is this thing, also has bargain, and I got one of the rituals, so which I'm not now gonna play because of the Hatching Blast. It's gonna be a lot of cards, draw basically 5 cards, but it's still so cheap and great that I'm gonna do it. Okay, this is not gonna matter too much. So blue-red it is. I'm happy I took the Restless Spire because I ended up getting the deck that, is gonna benefit from it quite nicely. Here, oh, by the way, I do have the Ice Out too for the Hatching Blast. So I have, I think, 5 cards at least with bargain right now. Monstrous Rage is good. The stopgap I would be picking over the Ice Out. I don't care about Mythic Race. I mean, I even have the play set of these, but I have already enough of these regular set mythics. I will redraft the mythics from this enchantment sheet, but not from the regular set because I have enough packs that when I open them I will have a full set of mythics. I'm not going to take it just for 40 gems. The question is, am I going to take the stopgap or the rage? I guess I'll take the stopgap. It's such a nice tempo play when you can crack the Hatching Blast with the stopgap. It is really nice because you get to bounce something and draw a lot of cards, and then you get both tempo and cards, which is really nice. Okay, Winestalk. You could splash these things, but I don't think I'm gonna. If I had like Prophetic Prism here, this would be a easier card to just put in the deck because this doesn't. It's basically a tapped island here. It's not. The opportunity cost is not a lot to have this in the deck. I don't need any more card draw. I don't care about the modes, the Mocking Sprite. I'm not really. I think I'm gonna actually take this, and if I find a Prophetic Prism, it's gonna be quite nice, in fact. Okay, now I see these rubies. This is the 3rd ruby I see in this draft now. I think I'll take them. I don't need the 1-drop in here. I really don't want to play this card. It can backfire badly if the opponent can actually cast a spell and then destroy this, and then you can just kiss the game goodbye. I don't think I need another Ice Out. I have enough ways to crack the Hatching Blast. I'll take the Gatekeeper. It's nice tempo play early, and then later in the game you can have the 6/5. Oh, the Iron Crack. Could be useful. Oh, the Vault also can actually make some. I guess it's not very efficient way to enable this thing. I would prefer a Prophetic Prism for the Winestalk. But there's the Iron Crack. Do I have a legendary creatures in here? I don't think. Okay, it's only a mana producing artifact. There's the Attendance, but there's also another Archive Dragon here. I did take the Gatekeeper though. I don't know. I think I'm taking the Dragon here regardless. Having 2 of these as a top end is really nice. Oh, there's a Candy Crabble. Well, there's also Goblin Bombardment, and yes, it can be very good in certain decks, but I don't think I'm gonna play it. Despite having 2 of these Rat Catcher trainings, I don't think I have many creatures I want to be sacrificing, so it's not for this deck. I would want to play a deck where I can benefit from this quite a lot, but this is not that. I will play the Frantic Firebolt, though. I think this is gonna be good. Of course, this is in a blue-red deck. It is the best it can be. Alright, Frolicking Familiar over Evolving Bulge, easy pick. This is such a nice little blue-red card. And Scarecrow Guide, Living Lectern. The Lectern is maybe unnecessary. I could take the Guide. It's a 2-drop I can trade with something, and it allows me to activate this ability and just fix mana for my double casters as well. It's fine. Okay, I'll take the Witch for sure with the Hatching Blast, and I have a couple of these trainees giving me more fodder to bargain away. Here, am I gonna take a Scuba Slinger? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have these triple Torch Tower. I don't think I need it. I'm actually gonna be greedy and take 40 gems now because I don't really. I mean, because these Torch Towers are good cards to deal with the opponents, early drops too. So I don't need 2 mana blockers that much here, and in addition to what I already have here. Okay, I don't really think I need another card draw spell, but there might be a matchup where I actively maybe still sideboard it in. And here I'm just gonna take the 20 gems, or I guess there's a chance I can sideboard it in, but well, let's keep that in mind. I can take another guide. Quite late scavenger for someone. The freeze in place is not really good. I'm not taking that. And here it doesn't matter. And okay, I got a 2-drop, which I probably won't be playing. Yeah, this is the deck after the draft. I'm not sure about the Winestalk. The only ways to get green here are the one-off treasure token from here and the Scarecrow guides if they are gonna survive. I don't know if that's enough to play a tapped blue source, because most of the time this will just be a tapped blue source and nothing else. I don't have any green adventures. I don't think, at least. No, I don't. There's no green card I'm willing to splash, not even the Curse of the Werefox. So, well, I'm gonna cut all the lands for now, at least. Let's see if I'm gonna play these guides or not. Because if I play both of them, maybe then that's a reason to play the Winestalk. But I think I really needed a Prophetic Prism to make this a card I'm gonna play. Because even then, you would have to draw both the Winestalk and the Prophetic Prism in the same game to utilize that. But I think with that, it would still be worth playing a tapped blue source, because in the games when you can do that, this will be really good. But now I would have to rely basically on the Scarecrow guides, which the opponent will get rid of quite easily, especially when they see it's the only way to play the Winestalk. Activate it. And I'm not going to put a basic forest in this deck. That would just make my mana worse, and the payoff isn't there. So I don't think I'm gonna play the Winestalk, even if I have a guide in the deck. Okay, let's do one check first. And I'm not gonna play the main deck into the Fair Court. Although, I guess I could not play... Okay, well, let's see. It's possible. I'm gonna actually put it to the deck, because I'm gonna cut the kind of... I have 4 card draw spells in here. I'm not gonna play more than 2, and now I didn't even count the Hatching Blast. In addition to the Hatching Blast, I will play at most 2, but it could be I'm gonna play the Court thing and the Facet Ritual. This I will play regardless because of the bargain. I might cut the quick studies, but let's see now how I'm gonna cut to the, I think, 23 cards. So let's, no, first I will want to see how many bargain cards. That is quite a few because of the Torchy Towers. Both the Stopcaps and the Torchy Towers are amazing with Hatching Blast, because you get removal and tempo generating removal and cards with the same play. That's amazing, of course. Alright, so this is what? 8. That is actually 8 ways to crack the Hatching Blast. I shouldn't have any trouble cracking it. And I'm gonna play all these bargain cards here, because they are fine cards to play even if I don't have a Hatching Blast. Now, the cuts. Let's then check out the creature curve here. This is actually not a deck that cares about the Emperor Veteran. I took this early, maybe in pack 2, but at that point I didn't know it's going to be a blue-red kind of a control deck with card draw and a couple of Archive Dragons for the late game. This would have been great if I maybe it was going to be like a red-green, red-white, or even a black-red deck. This is good in each of those. I'm going to cut it now because I don't need that kind of an early drop. I don't need the Prowler either, because I don't have many triggers for it, and 2 mana 2/1s. I'd rather play the guides here than them. This is I do like this better as a sideboard card. Even the aggressive decks play some 4 mana effects or more expensive, but it's also possible that they don't draw their few cards that cost more than 3 mana, and then this is kind of a stranded in my hand. But it's an amazing sideboard card, so I'm gonna cut it from the main deck. Then I think I have enough kind of like a finishing power. I have 2 dragons on the Gatekeeper. The Bruiser isn't gonna do much in this deck. The Beat a Path Adventure won't be something I'm that interested in having in this deck. This is more of a late game focused deck with this removal I have, and of course the card draw and these nice dragons here. So that's an easy cut. And then I will cut 2 of the card draw spells. It's gonna definitely be 1 quick study, and then it's either into the Fair Court or the quick study number 2. Okay. I do think that I might, from the main deck at least, cut the into the Fair Court. It does give me, you know, the 1/1 that I can bargain away for stuff. That is nice. But I do think that I'd rather have these, because this quick study is also kind of like a turn 3 play, and I don't have that many 3-drops in here. So I can treat it as such. And here I will cut one of the guides, I think. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things I can play on turn 2 as creatures, and then of course the 3 Torchy Towers. That should be enough early game. And yeah, the trainee, you know, you want to play the pest problem, but if it is the only 2-drop available for you, it's at least it's nice to have the option to play to the board in that case. So this is it. I'm going to play 17 lands with this with all these card draw. It's definitely I don't really imagine I'm gonna have trouble with flooding out. Also the Gatekeeper, by the way, is a turn 2 play, so this is enough. Turn 2 and turn 3 plays, and then I need to have some of these expensive stuff, like, you know, the dragon, hatching plans. Yeah, I think I have enough everything, interaction, tempo, good mana curve. And with only one Scarecrow guide and one Grabby Giant, I'm not playing the Restless Winestalk here. I already play one Enter Stabbed land in the Restless Spire, so yeah, if I had in my deck one Prophetic Prism, which I would be playing if I had it, I would play this Winestalk, but not with the guides. Alright. And is this gonna be, I mean, I have only 8 red cards, but I have a lot of, you know, of these red early drops. But I have these double caster blue cards, so I think, or maybe it's not gonna matter that much for the Archive Dragon, which is a 6-drop, because I would have to have like 5 mountains and 1 island to not be able to cast this. But for the 3 mana and the 4 mana double casters, it can matter a lot more. So I think that even though I could play 8+8 basics, which it's gonna be the suggestion here, I think I can do this. I have more blue. Also because, you know, I have more blue cards, so this is still gonna be 8 sources for red, and the Scarecrow guide. So that should be enough. This is the optimal mana in my opinion, at least. Alright, so that is the main deck. I have some nice sideboard card, Disdainful Stroke. Against more controlist decks I can have more card draw, and that's probably gonna be the most of my sideboarding. If I really need to have more early drops, I can have the Prowler and the Veteran to trade with, and this guide here to trade with an aggressive deck's early drops, but I like this main deck quite a bit. Okay, that's fine. With this hand I probably won't be playing the Diminisher Witch on turn 3 as a 3-2. I will, because if I do the pest problem here, it's gonna allow me to have an easy bargain fodder here. They mulligan here. So I think my turn 3 play, unless I draw something else, will be the pest problem. Okay, the opponent kept 6 cards in their hand. Opponent kept 6, and I'm gonna play this and see what happens. Yeah, not gonna play these on turn 3. I'm going to just play the pest problem, most likely. Okay, well, I don't like seeing that exactly, because if I knew they have a 2/2 haste, I would have played this just to have a blocker here, but it's a rare. It's not like you can expect that to happen. And I only saw red, so it could have been still anything. Okay, I know I can still play it as a blocker here. What's my turn 4 going to be like? Well, I might want to have bargain for this thing too. Let's take an additional point of damage, and it's possible next turn I play the trainee and maybe use the transmuter to make the 3-drop smaller. We'll see. Oh, I guess I can make that still into a smaller creature. It's also possible they block with it, so I'm gonna of course attack, and if they block with the red cap 3 thief, that would be great. Okay, because now of course it has 1 damage on it, so if I turn it into a small creature, it will die. Like so. I hope they don't have anything for 1 mana. They didn't. So this was perfect. I got rid of the thief and now I have a blocker for this thing. And I have this 3-4 as an additional blocker coming up. And of course the dragon is here. I can refill my hand with this ritual and I still have the 1-1 here that I can sacrifice for the witch in case they get some other bigger creature which I want to shrink into a 1-1. So I like how the game has gone now. And I'm at 16 if they deal with the trainee somehow. I'm not about to die yet. And the 3-4 is another good blocker. Blocker coming up. Okay, that is nice. Grabby Giant, which I can make into 1-1. But I would maybe rather not let them have access to this thing. It's quite mana efficient though. This time I can't do the same, by the way. If I attack and they block, I lose my only thing I can bargain away. But I could just play the Alchemist here and make this into 1-1. I don't think it matters too much that they can draw cards. It's 3 mana. It's quite a lot at this stage of the game. But I can just play the Transmuter too. But I think I'm gonna do the mana efficient play. So because I have nothing in my graveyard I wanna pick up with the Alchemist, so I'm gonna just play this as a 1-3. Because I do have the Archive Dragon and the Ritual here. That means that I have pretty good late game stuff. As long as they don't have the make me discard 2 cards. That would be horrible if they have that. It's not a very good card, so okay, that's fine. It doesn't enhance their toughness at all. So I don't expect them to play the card that makes me discard 2. Okay. This is not a card you see often played. In my previous video, of course, that the opponent did play it. Wow. Look at this. Just, I mean, I could have even gotten back the Farsight Ritual if I didn't play this. Anyway, it's fine. I drew actually, maybe one of the better cards I could draw here in this situation. I really hope they block the Alchemist. Well, obviously they didn't. It would have been quite a bit of a mistake for them. I guess not really maybe that much, because they can still make it into a 3-2 thanks to that reset token they have. And wow, Eret's Whisper. Well, I now know they're gonna play it. And this was a good turn regardless. And but these were the 2 non-hatching plus card draw effects, so I'm now basically top decking here. Okay, so it's gonna become a 3-3 if they are gonna. I mean, they might give it the Meribard itself too. The Young Hero roll token. They could replace the Wicked token from here and attack to deal 3 plus whatever they're gonna pump. Because of course I can't really block with the Coralsmith right now, because it's only 2 power. Man, this thing, I was really confident about my chances, and I even talked about this, but this, I mean, how often you see this card being played? I personally don't see it often being played, so it's not the kind of card I play around. But of course, if I were to play around it, I would have just played the Vantress Transmuter on the previous turn. Okay, they gave the token to this thing. So I can offer the trades here, I don't mind. I can play these things. I don't have to pump the Coralsmith at all, because they have 2 toughness there, and I have acceptable. This dying allows me to scry too. Okay, they actually they go for that, so I could actually make this into a 4 power, making them, because now they're going to down to 8. I could make them go to 6, assuming they don't have a removal. Could be like a rat out, of course. So this attacks becomes a 4-3. I can still block with the Transmuter. I mean, I don't think the Slinger is that important. Although I guess I can double block with the Alchemist. Okay, fine. I'm gonna play both of my cards here now. Because I still have the option to double block with the Alchemist and the Slinger. If they like kill the Transmuter, then I still have a good block on the bards. I don't wanna make this grow into an incredible size. They can now start using the Giant's ability, by the way, to turn their treasure and lands into cards. So hatching plans, I still have many ways of course to crack it, so I think it's a good draw. I could attack with the Alchemist, but if they block it with the Bard, it's bad news. Of course, they will lose in that case, but they might have a trick. I think it might be still worth attacking with the Alchemist. Because if they eat it for free and then they trade with the Witch, well, that's basically lethal damage. And they might double block the Transmuter. I'm gonna sacrifice my Alchemist in case they, you know, have a trick that allows them to eat it for free. Yeah, they go for that. But I mean, I'm eating the... Well, no, I'm not eating the Crabby Giant because, you know, they can pump its power. But this is 7 damage. They go to 1 now. Guess they're gonna sacrifice the treasure to draw a card and then pump the Giant into a bigger one. I get to scry too, so I hope to find something I can bargain. They sack the land, not the treasure token, so I guess they have a splash for which they might need the token. Okay, they go down to 1 here if this goes through like this. Okay, now they just sacked. I mean, they sacked 2 lands. They could have. No, actually, no. I guess they needed the mana from that thing. Well, anyway, this is fine. They have 1 card. I have still 3 creatures here, and I get to scry into something that's. This is definitely something that's basically draw 2 cards there with the scry. Now they have 5 mana, 4 cards. Could have a 6th. Okay, 6 mana, 3 cards, and they need to have blocks for every one of these. And the Merrybards only trades with. Okay, the 1 card in their hand has to be. I mean, the 1 mana that they have there has to be useful, and it is actually. And I have a 3rd island in a row. So what's gonna happen if I attack here? They're gonna use the bard to eat the Witch. I mean, trade with the Witch. And they're gonna jump block the Scuba Slinger with the Tabby, and then this Scream Puff is gonna eat my Transmitter. And they will be at 1. I will have only the Scuba Slinger, and they have this, which is gonna start making them food tokens, which is not acceptable. I can't let the Scream Puff to kill me. So I will double block the Scream Puff with them. Okay, well, let's see what happens here. I mean, if I let them get life from this, it's bad, because I have a live draw here. I have the you know, the card, the adventure, let off some steam. Or what's the frolicking familiar? It's actually just gonna win the game immediately if I get to draw it, as long as they don't have extra food. So they had actually pretty, because they needed yeah, they had the land drop and the 5 drop and the 1 drop. Now it could have been a 2 drop and a 4 drop, 3 drop and a 3 drop also, but I scried 2 islands to the bottom, and then I drew an island. But of course I have a lot of live draws here. I have, out of my 8 bargain cards, I have only 1 in here. Actually, is that true? This is the only bargain card I have here. Oh, 2 actually, because of this. Alright, I'm gonna do this. I have to double block it anyway. So they're gonna eat two of my guys. Let's see if the final card in their hand is also something that's business here. If this thing dies now, I'm very happy. Okay, because otherwise it would have been bad. This card is still... It's gonna just trade with the Death Toucher, but it's fine. Okay, this is gonna be very good as well. I don't think there's any point in trading here with the Tabby here. And of course I'm gonna play this in the main phase because I want to, you know, also play the Ratcatcher Trainee, which doesn't have flash, so this is now a lot of questions that they need to answer. So they need two things that deal with my attackers, or just gaining life somehow. And I think I have 6 cards in my deck that have bargain, because this has bargain, and this has bargain, and I had 8 total with bargain. Of course, one of them is a counterspell, but drawing the counterspell here would be quite fantastic too, because the opponent isn't gonna win the game without casting some spells. And once they do, I can counter and eat the hatching blast. Okay, they had nothing. So it was a little bit scary at the point where I had to deal with the Eretes Whisper. But at least I had enough. Well, I drew with the quick study immediately after that, so that allowed me to refill quite nicely. Alright, so Forced Fruition. Even though you might think that black-red doesn't kill enchantments, but there's actually a common black spell in this format that can deal with an enchantment. It's the 5-mana sorcery that gives a wicked token to a creature, and then you destroy target creature or enchantment. So imagine I play this, and they have that. They draw 7, kill this enchantment, and I can kiss the game goodbye. Okay, so I know they are black-red, I know they have the Scream Puff, and I have against this thing at least a couple of ways to make it into a 1-1. There's the Whisper. I mean, the Whisper kind of makes me want to play at the quick study here. It's a nice counter of the discard effect. What else? The Scuba Slinger is good enough. Well, I do like all of this, even the Gatekeeper. The Disdainful Stroke, though, that counters the Scream Puff, the Grabby Giant, the Eretes Whisper. That's also interesting. I should maybe consider it. But what I don't need then? I guess I can just cut the Scarecrow Guide. I don't really want to cut more of my cheap stuff in here, but it's kind of nasty. Am I going to not play it? No, I'm gonna play the Farsight Ritual here. I'm gonna play like one fewer land here now that I'm on the draw here. I could actually cut an island, but I have this expensive stuff here. It's very tough. I have only 15 seconds. I need to make a decision. I like the Coralsmith. I just do. I think I'm gonna cut an island here. Hopefully I don't regret that, but I have now 2 3-mana draw spells, so getting stuck at 3. I still have 2 outs to have a card draw spells to draw out of that. But this is not worth keeping. It's definitely not. I'm gonna mulligan. Wow. How about this? I'm gonna keep this because I have the Familiar and I have these. If I draw 1 land, I can play a treasure token, get a treasure token, and then of course, I can play a quick study with the treasure, even if I don't draw the 3rd one. I think this is better than going to 5. Okay, that's not the greatest target for the 1 mana, 1 damage effect, but we'll see what's gonna be their turn 2. I hope they play like an X1 here, but we'll see. Not exactly. Okay, so killing this only. They can still attack for 3 on the next turn, so I don't think I'm going to do that. All right. Well, at least I drew 2 lands back to back. That's like the. I don't think it's enough necessarily because they have this fast start, though. Yeah, this is probably not very good because if I'm gonna play a quick study here, that still means I'm not going to. Okay, well that thing I can kill at least. Unless they have like a effect that says otherwise. Alright, so I can kill the Ratcher and I can kill the Tabby, but these are all instant, so I don't have to do anything right now. The only sorcery speed effect would be to cast this or use this and cast the creature part, but that's not gonna make sense. Now that I drew all these lands, there's actually 3 lands in reach draw, 3 draw steps. Now that they're tapped out, I'm actually gonna kill the tappy. 3 lands in 3 draw steps after I, you know, after I kept a 1 lander, so that's the best outcome in that sense. But they had this 1-drop, 2-drop start in here, but they didn't have like a proper 3-drop. They only had the 1/1 and the treasure token generating thing. They are going to play the Krabby Giant, so I'm gonna take the 3 here, use a quick study now, and then kill the Krabby Giant. Because I will of course deal 3 with the Firebolt once I have the quick study in my graveyard. Okay, well there is a hatching plans, which is good with the Ice Out. But now of course my mana is a little bit super optimal here, because I can only do one thing here. And the most mana efficient thing I could do is play the Krabby Giant. But the problem is it only gonna trade with these, they might have removal and then I take 7. So the safest way to do this is to hope they don't have a 1 mana effect to save the Krabby Giant. If they do, I'll be pretty doomed here. It seems like they had something for 1 mana, but that wasn't, you know, not dead after all. It could be a Rat Out, for instance. It wasn't also the monster, you know, what's the 1 mana red instant that adds a monster roll token and gives +2/+0 for a turn. Okay, so I could have 5 mana now. But I think I'm gonna play the Giant instead and the tapped land. Then on the next turn I can maybe have the luxury to keep mana up for an Ice Out. So is that going to be a Candy Grapple? Okay. Well, I'm gonna go down to 6. No. I guess that's... okay, that's not... well, that's something I can try to counter, but of course if they have another creature right now... let's see if they're gonna save this Gumdrop Poisoner here as a removal effect, because they can actually use it as a -3/-3. And they do. Okay. So... I actually don't have the luxury of using the Ice Out with the hatching plans, because I do need to get something here on the battlefield. I'm gonna play the Frolicking Familiar here, and then they try to kill it and I will kill the Poisoner. I'm not gonna kill it, but I'm going to counter it. I will draw something with Bargain later on. If they draw a land on the next turn, I think that is my chance to still somehow beat them. So now they're gonna crack the food token, gain 3, and then cast this thing, which would give -3/-3 to the Frolicking Familiar. But they actually don't have that plan now. Well, the Ratter, this is not a rat, so I can actually do this. They will get a rat though, so I mean, then this Ratter will be active. This is gonna be a 3/1 if I block it, but I wonder what is their game plan here now. Because they didn't go... okay, they're gonna go post-combat Gumdrop Poisoner. Interesting. Okay. That's fine. That is fine. They have a... I don't know what they have. They have the bring back a creature that... I mean, the adventure spell, I guess, the Raise Dead. Or... yeah, Fell Horseman, that is it. Sadly, they will be able to do the kill thing. Well, I got the hatching plans and the bargain spell, and I can actually bounce the rat now. So I'm not dead yet. I'm gonna get so many more cards here. This is not gonna have first strike. It's only on my turn, so it's not the first strike blocker. Anyhow, let's bounce the rat, of course, because that's in fact problematic now with the Ratter here. Do I want to leave mana up? No, I mean, this is a blue spell, so I have to do this. Yeah, no question there. So they're gonna be able to play the Gumdrop Poisoner here, of course, and kill the Familiar here. But Torture Tower is... oh, I don't have 2 instants, because they can only give -3/-3. If I got something very cheap, that is a sorcery, Now that would have been great. If I had one more land, I could have a quick study and the torture tower to save the familiar from the effect. But that's not the case now. So it's gonna be a 3-2. Wonder if I'm supposed to... Well, I'm supposed to attack now for sure. The only question is, am I gonna take the 2 from this? I think I'm gonna just do the quick study now. I guess I can block the Tatter Tratter too. Nah, I'm gonna just do this. I'm gonna take 4, go down to 4 here. And now they will have, of course, this is gonna cost, 6 mana total. They have to make the food. And it's possible they will just play, the... Oops, what did I play? I pushed the Esk by accident. But yeah, I mean, they could have just played the 3-3, but they chose to... Now that I'm tapped out, they wanna get value from the Gumdrop Poisoner, which I, assumed they would be doing. Okay, they are down to the 1 card I know about. And I have, of course, a lot of things in here that's gonna help me maybe survive. I can return here, even... I'm most likely going to return something. Well, I can torch the tower this thing, but I think I might just do it right away. I can bounce the Ratter, and then I have only 7 mana, so I can't play this 6-5 in addition to that. But what I can do is I can put an instant of sorcery. I think I'll just take the Firebolt. It's gonna be damage. I have another card draw effect in there, so I'm gonna take the Firebolt, which I'm gonna redraw, and then I can play the Aquatic Alchemist, and I can bounce this guy. And now I just hope that these don't get to deal 4 damage to me somehow. Okay, that's gonna make me go to 3. Well, when this, this wicked token is gonna leave the battlefield at some point. And now I have here. This would leave me with 3 mana, which is the Frantic Firebolt. Yeah, I think I'll just do this then. This is only 2 mana to activate. It's very cheap indeed to activate it. I need to start attacking because I don't want to give them like a ton of draw steps while I'm at only 4. I don't have any means to gain life in my deck. How much do I have time? 18 minutes. Yeah, that's enough to play this and the next game if I lose this one. Oh, again they're checking the graveyard. Are they still getting some gas? Well, I guess we'll see. Okay, so they go for that, which is... I'm curious about that, but... I mean... Nothing. So they're gonna have... something, obviously. I mean, I could kill this counter by using the Firebolt, but why would I do that? I'm gonna just let this happen. Let's see what this gonna be. I mean, that attack had a... Okay, Scepter of Mortality. It's going to get rid of my things, but it's actually not a big deal because I can just kill the Scepter with the Frantic Firebolt, of course. They're gonna exile 2 creatures and everyone gets -6, -2, -2. Sure, whatever, let's just use this. Yeah, sure. Doesn't matter, they're gonna play this thing post-combat, but it's okay. Whenever this thing attacks, cry 1. Well, I got my dragon here, so that is nice. I mean... I scry once first. I mean, they would have to draw... I mean, there's a way for them to win through this thing, but I think I want to start attacking here. I hope they don't have a Yeah, this is great scry because I can get rid of that land and then still scry too. But the thing is, of course, if they can draw the 5 mana removal spell and pay for the ward. And I would lose if it gives this the wicked token, but that would be a great top deck for them. Alright, so which one of these? I mean, I want to draw them both. I guess I have the Farsight Ritual to get the Torched Tower too. So I believe I'm gonna draw the dragon, and if I need to get the Torched Tower, I can get it with the Farsight Ritual. But just don't draw the 5 mana kill spell, thank you. Now, again the same thing applies here. I know I could use a transmuter on this thing, it becomes a 1-1, but I don't think I need it. I want to win quickly here, it's important to do that, so I'm going to just go for this. Not gonna scry anything too. This is gonna be on the top still, and they go down to 14, and yeah, there's some... I mean, I actually could see... I mean, they might have a haster though. I mean, I could use the this thing to get me the Torched Tower and kill this. But how about if they have a haster then that deals, you know, for example, the common 5-drop is a haster. Then I would lose to that. So I think I'm just gonna go for the second dragon, because this is also going to, you know, make it so that my clock is faster. So again, I'm gonna die to the 5 mana removal spell. I don't know if they have it in their deck, because I think I didn't see that in game 1. Okay, well that's one way to get the job done. But I mean, I tried to win as quickly as possible with the dragons. It's just that they had the means to deal, you know, make me lose life. Okay. I think my deck is fine enough. They have I'm not sure how many early drops they have. I don't really think I need the Embered Veteran here. I'll just have the same deck here. I did cut a land here, but what would I be cutting here to not have the land? This is good enough. I mean, to not have the land cut. I mean, what would I cut so that I could add the 17th land? But I chose to not do it. Okay, so let's hope to have a good starting hand now. I don't want to go down to 4 here when they have the Rankle's Prank. Well, I mean... sure. At least they did mulligan too. Might even be wanting to have... Well, I guess I can... There's a chance I want to play 2 red spells in a turn. Did they go to 5, by the way? It seems like they maybe did. Well, I do like this hand much more if they go to 5, because it's possible that my turn 3 Ice Out is gonna be enough to buy me time to maybe play the Archive Dragon at some point. I think they went to 5 because I kind of saw their hand change, but I'll pause the recording and return once they're finished. Okay, yes, they did go to 5. Now, do they have a aggressive start with a 5-card hand? Well, they have a 1-drop haster. That does mean they have fewer cards. Oh, that's also going to be a decent enough thing. Let's see if they have an X1 on turn 2. They actually do, but who's gonna... I'm gonna kill, of course, the target with the... Whichever they're gonna target, I'm gonna kill. With the familiar here. They still haven't haste for this thing, so I'm gonna go down to 18 here. I'll just play this. It's a good blocker here. So they had a 1-drop, 2-drop start with the hasters, but I had a very good response to that. And now, of course, they will run out of gas because, you know, mulligan to 5 and all that. Let's see if they have a means to deal with the familiar. They did it in the main phase. That's because they know that I might have, of course, counter effects, which I do. I'm not going to raise against this board because I could bounce one of them But I think the better idea is just to, of course, leave this as a blocker, have the counter spell, and my own trainee. If they just play the trainee there, I think I'm gonna not counter that. Raid bombardment. Well, this is actually a little bit awkward to deal with. But it's also like a do nothing and they don't have a good attack now. So if they attack with everything, I would go to 14 and then I would take even more damage. Yeah, I do think it's better to I mean, they have the Rankle Sprang and all that, so it's better to counter that card rather than taking too many risks here. Okay, still I'm going to just... That was a good draw for sure. But I can now just have my trainee here, and this will have first strike. But yeah, I'm not gonna use the Tootsi Tower quite yet. And of course I can have good attacks in here now with these guys. Because they have nothing with more than 1 toughness. So there's the Spire and there's this thing, and we're leaving me 1 up for the Tootsi Tower here. And I could have used that stopgap to bounce one of the tokens and sack my one of my own tokens, but okay. So here's what it's... Alright, so they're gonna have something which I can... I mean, I guess I'll just do like this. Exile this thing. Do they have anything for the first striker here? No, they don't. Okay, this is quite good for me. It could be a Rankle Sprang, but you know, I have a couple of things to sack. Too bad I would have to discard. Okay, it was the Spectre, of course. Well, I mean, this is still fine. I have the Dragon versus the Spectre. It's only 3/3 flyer from now on. Of course, I would need to... Well, I'm gonna bounce it just to draw the card. Both of these guys, you know, cost 6. Well, I don't care if they have the ability again, of course, they have no creatures in their graveyard. So now I can just play the Crabby Giant in case I'm... well, this I believe is gonna be good enough. I'm gonna make a treasure token here and then use the Diminisher Witch to make the Spectre into a 1/1. I mean, it's my 6th mana source for the you know, these things, but I'm gonna draw land at some point. Now I just hope they don't have the Eria's Whisper here. That would be so horrible if they drew that, and it would be a top deck now. Okay, I'm gonna trade with the Death Toucher. They can give it Death Touch with 2 mana, so let's do the trade here. No Eria's Whisper. I really hope to get the land drop just to be able to cast one of my big spells in here. Well, guess I'll play the Crabby Giant instead. Because it can also block the Spectre here. Okay, let's see what this is gonna be here. Okay, they have Gumroad Poisoner and they can... Oh, they could have done that pre-combat, they made a mistake. I mean, this would have dealt 3 to this, I mean, -3. So they actually forgot it has reach. That has to be the thing. Okay, Disdainful Stroke. Well, I'm not gonna bounce this thing, I could, but it's, you know, a very bad idea. I want to draw an... It's more likely I will draw an island, because I have more... No, actually I cut... do I have more islands? Or... I have a 16. I think I have more islands, so I should do it like this. And hopefully just draw the land. Alright, there is the island, so I can actually just trade with that thing. You know, I will lose my land then. That is, of course, the truth. Yeah, I would lose the land. Okay, let's make this into 1-1. 1-1 then. Okay, that is one of the least harmful non-land draws they might have. Okay, it's time to scry 2. All of this stuff is actually good. Maybe the rat catcher trainee is not so good, but I'm gonna have the ritual here. Now if they draw a Wrangle's Prank, it's still annoying because I don't want to, you know, discard 2. But I'm gonna keep mana up for the Disdainful Stroke from now on, assuming I don't, you know, have to discard it now because they drew a Wrangle's Prank or the Erietha's Whisper. Because once I can, you know, pass my turns with this thing up, it's gonna be so great. Because they have a Wrangle's Prank, they have Erietha's Whisper, they have the 4/5 Death Toucher that costs 5. That's a lot of cards I can just protect myself from if I get to have this stroke up here. But they definitely have something. I mean, if they drew a land, they wouldn't be thinking about are they gonna attack or not. Okay, it's just a Tattered Ratter, so fantastic. So now I'm going to just I think I can attack here because I have the Transmuter, and if they draw like a cheap removal spell on this, I only take 4. I going to 9. And again, the same thing as in the previous game, I just need to, you know, also try to win the game before they get something that, you know, makes me actually lose. And I'm not going to counter every expensive thing I can with the Disdainful Stroke, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, so something is going on here. I'm gonna block this one here. Crescendo. Okay, so I didn't know about that. I can't counter it, so I will lose my guy and take 6. Wow. Okay, well, again, at least I do have the Wrangle's Prank here, you know, and I got to kill the Ratter, so the 1/1 rat isn't that dangerous, but that is a little annoying. If I had 7 lands, I would use the Alchemist here. But now the question is, am I going to... Because I could use the Alchemist, get back, you know, towards the tower. Or a Quick Study even. Maybe not important to get the Quick Study. Then again, this thing blocks everything here. I don't necessarily need to. You know, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna bounce this. Bye-bye, rat. And I'm gonna just play this as a blocker. Not gonna use the ability. And I have the Disdainful Stroke up now. Okay, they again drew something. I mean, I would say throw away the Spear Guard for no reason. I'm gonna block it, of course. So we'll see what is the draw here now. There's the token. Okay, the assassin, and that's... Well, that is actually something I do want to counter because I don't want to deal with the flyer. So that means I'm now, you know, now if they have like a Wrangle's Prank, but it's at least I have more than 4 life. Okay, well there's the Hatching Blast. Let's do that with the stopgap, not with the ritual. Bounce this thing. tempting to attack because I have this Spire here. I'm dealing 7 versus dealing 5. I guess I can go to 6. Am I gonna regret this? I might regret this, but I mean, even Rankle's Prank won't be lethal now. This doesn't have first strike when I'm going to block with it on their turn. Because I have the options to just, you know, cast a quick study too. Which is a little bit tempting. Okay, they had... Maybe that was now just a land draw, so they didn't want to see how the game goes. Understandably, actually, but and this was a game where I mulliganed to 6, but they did mulligan to 5, so it was like a still quite on par. Not that I had a huge advantage there. Okay. Okay, this is gonna be a keep. 8 bargain spells in the deck, so quite easy to deal with the getting rid of the hatching plans part. I might go with the Scuba Slinger now on turn 2 because I don't have... Yeah, that's definitely... I'd rather, you know, block this thing than not. There's no rust playing this until I have drawn something that can crack it. Okay, I'm gonna... They're gonna have a trick of some kind. It could be a +1/+1 aura token from the... Yeah, exactly this thing. That's an instant. That's one of the few, you know, these creature adventure spells that grant an aura for... Oh, they... Wow, so they want to actually go for the life linking part too. Maybe they just want to scry too. Well, they scry to top here. But that will be now a 3/3 for good. At least I had 3 toughness here, so the trample didn't matter too much. Okay, so Firebolt can't deal with that right now. So the question is, am I gonna play the trainee? I think on the next turn I will just play the Crappy Giant. Once this dies, the Frantic Firebolt will in fact deal 3. So I'm gonna play the Hatching Plans because I don't think I needed 2 1/1s here now at all. And I still want to keep that as an option. The best outcome for me would be the kind of like draw 2 of my thoughts, one of my 3 thoughts, the towers, because that's a way to deal with the Hatching Plans, of course. Now, with that draw, I can just you know, play this. Don't need the treasure for anything, and because this thing counts also cards in my graveyard that have adventure, which the Crappy Giant does have. So I'm just gonna block with this thing, or maybe it will die now if they... Okay, Candy Crab. I'll take 7 now. Can't say I'm happy about this turn of events. But I can play the trainee to block the 2/2 and I can kill the 4/3, so... Yeah, I do need one of my 8 things to actually crack this thing. This is not great right now. And I'm gonna kill this before they are gonna untap. So if they have nothing, I can trade with the 2/2 and I go down to 5 and then I have to draw something. But 8 very good draws. I guess that counterspell isn't a very good draw. It's acceptable. Let's see if they have more tricks here. Because, okay, they did it. I've seen the Glory and the Werefox here. They are splashing for black, but it's a very good card to splash for sure. Now, let's get the bounce spell. You know, I have 2 Johan's stopgaps. That would be nice. Well, you know, that's acceptable as well. Now that they are... Oh, I mean, I'm gonna draw the 3 cards here, so let's not... I mean, they might have a trick, but I definitely want to crack this on my turn, not on their turn. And they didn't have a pump spell on the previous turn, so... Oh, this is also really good. Okay, against, you know, these tokens. I've seen 2 Hopeful Vigils. I have the Gatekeeper and 2 stopgaps to just bounce the token for free. Alright, so here I'm going to just, of course, play the land. I have the Farsight Ritual. It's an instant. I can draw these even on... You know, I can actually... Yeah, okay, that's fine. That has 2 toughness, so I can kill it with the Torch Tower. They might want to leave it as a removal effect, but also if they don't play any creature, that would be great. Okay, so there's that. And don't know if I want to kill it in respawns. Oh, there's an even better one. There's the familiar. Well, that's great. So I definitely you get the one thing right now. Okay, and now I know that they have only this gumdrop poisoner here, and this is gonna be great. Get rid of this thing. And I can play now my dragon, because that -3/-3 won't affect that at all. Yep, no need for these. They just played now. And I think I'm just gonna end of turn this thing. Alright. Now I can attack here. So this is 7. Well. How to do 7? I mean, I guess it's gonna be make these tokens and then play the guide and the trainee. That's the way to, you know, do most of get most of stuff done. I add 6 power to the battlefield right now, and if they don't have creatures, this is 6 power I can use to deal a lot of damage. And they have a Scream Puff, which I'm going to kill with the Frantic Firebolt. I can't do it on this turn. I guess I could just play this, but no. Frantic Firebolt it is. And then I can play this guy. And then I guess I have 2 blockers on it. I know I could take 4, but it's way too risky. They might have a pump spell. They might still have like pump and trample, of course, then I just lose. But if they do have it, because of course Death Touch and Trample is a pretty good combination. But if they have just a Ferocious Werefox, this would be 5 power. They would still have to assign 1 damage to the blocker. So I would go to exactly 1 if they had access to another Werefox right now. But there are maybe other things that can... Well, we'll see. I'm gonna just block with the guide. Princess takes flight. That is kinda irrelevant. Okay, no anything with trample or stuff. So, and now they play the... Okay, that's fine. Of course they can give a +2/+2 to a creature, you know, the god. I'm going to obviously... Well, I can actually bounce it with the... Yeah, okay, that's fine. So this is gonna happen, of course it's gonna die here. And this is gonna happen. Bounce this, so the chapter 2 doesn't do anything. I even have a blocker and I attack for, you know, 10, they go to 7. With 1 food token here. Yeah. That was nice. Again, the game is where you can crack the hatching plans. They can be kinda crazy good. But here I, you know, was in a little bit of a trouble. I went down to 5 there. Actually, I thought they were splashing for stuff like Candy Crabble, but now I see a Spiteful Hexmage and the Scream Puff. Now I guess the Scream Puff is a splashable card. Because it's a 5-drop. I'm not so sure about the Hexmage. I mean, how splashable that is, but that is what they chose to do. Alright, so I have a nice bounce effects for the tokens I saw. How about the disdainful stroke in this matchup? I saw the Scream Puff. There is the word of ferocious werefox, but I mean, it already gets some value with the adventure, so I don't think I really care about countering the 4-3. So maybe it's unnecessary. I saw a bunch of early plays from them, but I have, good blockers on their early stuff too, and I have the triple towards the tower and this gatekeeper functions as a, where did it go? This thing. Okay, I don't know what happens if can I not move this to, okay, what? I thought I can, okay. Apparently I can't like move this here. Why can't I do that? Maybe I can do it like here. No, I don't know what's going on, but I can't move cards here in this view. Anyhow, I think I'm not going to do any sideboarding here based on what I saw. I'm just gonna use the same deck. But yeah, the Gatekeeper is a good 2-drop against their 2-2 Vigilance tokens, of course. It's not a 2-drop, but it's a 2-mana spell, Alright. Well, there is the Gatekeeper and there's a 3-drop. Again, one of these starting hands that, doesn't have more than one sort of color, but with the Gatekeeper and the Coralsmith, I think I can keep this. Only one red card here. Come on, play the Vigil thing. Yes, that is now. And I even got the red mana here. But yeah, this is great. Alright. I'm gonna play this. I think the 1/1 tokens aren't gonna be that great here now because they're gonna play something that has more than one toughness, so I wouldn't be able to attack with them anyway. Scry 1 to top, 1 to bottom. Okay, so they had no actual 3-drop in there. So there's the black mana now. Okay, well, I'm going to just use the Farsight Ritual here. Where are their creatures? There are no creatures. That's fine for me. I have an Archive Dragon coming up with this. Okay, so I assume they're gonna bargain this away, so I'm gonna lose my Coralsmith for good. I don't get to even scry because it's exiled. It's like a semi-tempting to get the rat tokens here, but I'm gonna just do this. Well, that's a rather easy choice in there. And now I can, go with the tokens and, well, I guess I'm gonna just do it like this then. So I can also cast the creature. At least they don't get value out of the chapter 2 here. No, okay, that's even better in fact. That is really good combination with the stockpiling Celebrant. I was assuming they have these Celebrants because I saw 2 of these Hopeful Vigils in game 1. So they got some value there, but of course I'm having pretty good stuff myself here too. So here I am going to attack. I have the Frolicking Familiar to deal with the Celebrant. If they choose to block. I think I'm gonna do it before damage. Don't think it matters too much, but I'm gonna do it before damage. Archon's Glory, because now I can now just get the Scry here, kill this, sacking the token that was about to die anyway. Even more tricks. Is that they're gonna have a royal treatment also? Oh, not the Archon's Glory. Okay. I don't need the mountain here. Well, that was what the hand was, but that was 2 bargain spells for the princess takes flight here. Maybe they don't have any more. Regardless, I'm gonna play the Frolicking Familiar, which they are most likely gonna exile. But let's see how many bargain spells they're gonna have for it, or more Celebrants is an option too. If they can just keep running this with Celebrants, that's gonna be nasty. So 7 mana. I think I'll just play a dragon here. It has ward too, so at least it's gonna be a little bit more awkward for them to target it when they have only 5 mana. That said, I could also do, you know, the Ratcatcher trainee, the guide and the guide, yeah. But I do think I'd rather, at this point, just play the dragon and go for the scries. Because the scries will be useful. I don't need to have any lands here now. Hatching Plans doesn't have currently anything in exile. I have none of these have bargain. I have 6 out of 24 cards that are going to be bargain effects. But this is a blank draw. I do have a scry with the Restless Spire though. So I think I'm gonna keep the Hatching Plans here in case they somehow stabilize in here. With the Counter Poisoner they can deal with, well, with the trainee, I guess, if they wanna do it on this turn. But they do need to also bargain away that Princess takes flight. I'm not going to block here, it's too risky. They might have the Adventurer giving it a +1/+1 and trample. It would be a very bad block. Well, there is the way to... At least it is in their graveyard, not in their hand. If they had another Celebrant, that would be annoying. That said, this is an annoying card to deal with, for sure. Well, I'm gonna attack here still. They are gonna play this because they have the Prophetic Prism, but they can't kill the 6/5 with it. I mean, maybe I do have to double block it because I fear they're gonna have some kind of trick, so I think I need to put more than a little bit of toughness in front of it. Okay, I need to deal with the Glutton before I can start attacking with the dragon. That's how it goes. I'm not going to attack. I'll just play this. So this is now 10 damage I can deal with it, deal to it. Because they haven't drawn more lands than 5. So they still have 3 spells in hand. And then if they don't attack, then of course I can consider attacking myself with the dragon and the gatekeeper, but well, they're gonna have here something, so... They ate 2 of my creatures for good with the Princess Takes Flight. That's a nice card to combine with different effects, mostly with bargain, but of course especially with the stockpiling Celebrant. Another Glutton, okay. Guess they're not gonna attack now. Towards the tower, well, that is the answer for the Hatching Plans. Cracking. Well, with the Torture Tower I think I can consider attacks, but it's a little bit too risky, I would say. Yeah, I'm not gonna beat them with the racing. I need to deal with their stuff. So I'm not gonna kill the Celebrant here. I'm just gonna, you know, assume they're gonna have something that they're gonna attack with both of these 6/6, and I need to block the other one with the Gatekeeper and the other one with the Dragon and a bunch of other stuff. And I have the Torture Tower here. I know I could have played this as a 2/1, but I kind of want to kind of keep the illusion up that I'm gonna activate the Restless Spire here. And I might, you know, want to have also the 1/1 rats once this board gets maybe cleared at some point. The rats at least are more, you know, bargain for there, because I do have more bargain effects. For example, I have 2 effects in the deck that makes these into 1/1s, and that's great. Okay, they have that. So they have all these expensive. They drew 5 lands and then, you know, nothing, no more lands than that. And of course, they also have the. They also have the you know, 3 5-drops basically and 5 lands. All right, so that's the answer for the stopgap. I'm not sure if I actually want to get the Glutton. I kind of want to just bounce the Scream Puff, but could also you know, bounce the Glutton because they don't currently have any other thing than the Prism for the bargain, and then they will be cut from the Poisoner, but it might be a little bit foolish to consider that. Okay, fine, let's just do this. Let's just do this. Okay, so here I think I will. I'm really tempted to attack with the dragon, but it's not the greatest thing here. They have 2 6/6s in here. I know I can deal with one of them by using double torch with sacking 2 of these tokens. They are tapped out though. You know what? I'm gonna go for it. I hope they trade with the Gatekeeper here. And take 4. They go down to 8. Now this is actually easy now. Before they tap out, I'm going to do this. Yeah, these Torch Towers, they are quite good. That's exactly what I need to have here. And before they untap. Did I say before they tap out? At least I meant to say while they are tapped out, do this stuff. Alright, and here, trainee, I'm just going to actually play the 4/3. Now they can't make crazy all-out attacks because I have a lethal counter-attack, but I do have to respect the possibility of them having multiple pump spells still. I have seen these Archon's Glories, but they might still have more of some of that. But definitely if they just do the Scream Puff here, that's not gonna be great. For them, I mean. It's definitely not great for them. So they chose not to do that. They have some other things here. I might just block this with everything I have, if they attack with it. I know blocking with that just 2 is gonna be enough if it remains as a 6/6, but I'm gonna make the assumption that they might have, of course have a Titanic Growth, but it's maybe more likely that they have the +1/+1 and monster the monster token, basically adventure. So if I put only 6 power in front of it, it's gonna survive. If I put 8 power, they would have to have specifically a Titanic Growth or multiple things. Even an Archon's Glory wouldn't help in that case. Yeah. Okay, so this is now of course great. Do this. It's gonna also tap. And I can consider attacking with everyone. Even this. And then I can play the Vantress Transmuter. The other option is to play both of these post-combat. So maybe it's not worth it. Yeah, I mean they had nothing, but I had to, assume they have some tricks that makes this less trivial than it is. Because of course I have a huge, they have to jump block the 6/5, which they can do. And then they would still have to trade with the giant, and they are still dead. If they have nothing. But of course I had to assume they might have the, the +1/+3 and untap a creature. Could be on the Glutton. And then if they have a means to get rid of the cursed token when it's their turn, and they get to deal somehow extra damage, it's unlikely, but this was definitely, worth considering whether I attack with the Restless Spire and then post-combat play the Transmitter, or just not attack with it and play both of these post-combat. So I'm not sure which I would have taken, but it doesn't matter anymore. On the play, yeah, it's a decent enough keep. I can put some board presence with this thing, and I have card draw to refill. Opponent also mulligans here, so there's a better chance for them not to come with 1-drop, 2-drop, and so on. Okay, can play my tapped land here for kind of for free because I wasn't gonna use my mana anyway. There's the mice, which is fine. I'll just trade, or at least try to trade with it. Now there's a chance they have instant speed. Well, no, the color red is the easiest way to get instant speed to permanents, because of course if this becomes a 2/3/3, this is not gonna work. But I hope they don't have a trick. I mean, if they have a trick, it's fine. But if they had, but you know, the rat catcher is the. I think against these colors I'm gonna play the Slinger. The rat catcher is actually, which I have 2 of in this deck. It's the easiest way to, you know, to make this thing get celebration at an instant speed, just with 1 card. I'm gonna play the Farsight Ritual here. It's the optimal use of mana. Then I can play the Slinger and the Quick Study. But oh, they also have that thing. Sure. Top 4, I get Hatching Plans. Okay, and then it's not an easy decision because the Frantic Firebolt is one of my few kill spells, but you know, this dragon is just so good. I'm gonna take the dragon. Well, there's another. I mean, another way to crack the hatching plans, but I really actually prefer the Diminisher Witch, because I mean 2 damage from this thing is probably enough, and this is gonna be a lot better if I have a bargain fodder. So, and I'm not gonna turn this thing into a you know, 1/1 instead of 2/2. So I'm gonna wait until they have something. That's fine. Something worthwhile to turn into a 1/1. I guess I could have actually killed this thing now, but well, I took 2 damage there. Fine. They might be wondering why am I not cracking the hatching blast, but well, because I have other bargain stuff. Okay, let's do this now and play the Slinger. I would have preferred just to have a land. Okay, there's a ton of bargains here now. But again, the stopgap is the bargain advantage is to, you know, use 2 fewer mana. The difference between, you know, just playing this as a 3/2 and playing this with a reasonable ETB effect, it's a huge difference. So that's why I'm gonna save this, because I don't have any bargain fodder now. Well, now I do. So this is now a way to do something. So I don't like seeing that they have actually no plays whatsoever there, because it could mean they have the counter spell, which means I'm not gonna play the dragon into this. They might have the whatever is the counter spell's name. I could have attacked with this thing as well, but I don't want to lose my land if they have removal. They might also have just card draw, you know, quick study, maybe even a Farsight Ritual of their own. Because I'm tempted to play this thing now, and then the 2/1. But maybe I'm gonna play around the counter spell. Let's see what they do. They might crack the Hopeful Vigil too. Maybe they just have a quick study. Okay, Candy Crabble on that. That's fine. You got your cards. I'll get my cards soon as well. And I'm now happy I didn't attack with the Restless Spire. And I can get the 2/1/1s here. Okay, that's gonna get them back the hatching plans, which is not nice. Yeah, this is gonna be an interesting hatching plans, but they have more hatching plans than I though. Yep. A couple of these guys. My turn. Okay. So let's see if I attack and they do block. Then I can of course get rid of it with the Diminisher Witch. I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna activate the land because if they don't block, then I'll just play the dragon. Okay, they go for the blocks. So now it's time to crack my hatching plans. Is that the mana how I'm gonna use it? I guess with fall, I played already a land. I think I'm not gonna play 3 blue spells, so this is fine. That's becoming 1/1 that has 1 damage, aka it will die. Then I will just put more pressure. I don't need to have the treasure from this thing. So now if they want to play hatching plans, they actually... Well, they're gonna have land drops because they just drew a lot of cards, but I try to now just overwhelm them. I have 8 power on the battlefield. I can stop gap stuff, I can torch the tower stuff, I can play the dragon here. I can even, bounce the hatching blast, but I don't think that's relevant. They have a cooped out on that. They might have the counter spell, which I really expect them to have. Having my own counter spell is quite nice though as well. With 7 lands though, I am not going to play the dragon because then I can't have the counter up. I can play this with 2 because of the rat token here. But let's see. Quick study. Do I need a transmuter? I mean, as a spell, I think I might want to just play this as a 3/4, maybe. Let's attack first for 4 damage. It's something. Because I do expect them to have the ice out. Ice out in there. It's quite glaring here. I guess I could have attacked with this and then trainee. I mean, I don't have to get anything back with the Aquatic Alchemist. I just think it's kind of good that I do. But I could see, doing it like this. I'm gonna play this as a 1/3. Let them counter it if they want to. And then I play the Ratcatcher trainee. And then I have my own counter spell up. And I'm not, of course, going to counter their counter. Because hatching plans will... Okay, they didn't do any of that. Alright, I mean, maybe they don't have an ice out, or maybe they're greedy. Greedy now. They're gonna exile that. I'm not gonna use the ability there, of course, because I want to leave mana up for my counter spell. And this is a lot of damage that they are facing. They need to start doing something. Gatekeeper. Well, I mean... I could counter that. They have another one in there though, but... Also don't want to keep mana up all the time. But I think it's better to keep it. I mean, I'm winning this game. I am winning this game. So they might even have the Wrath effect. That's the most important thing to counter if they have the white Wrath effect. It's possible. So the thing is that as long as I keep my eyes out here, that of course means that I can't play the dragon, for instance. Okay, so am I gonna... Not the actual question is, am I going to play around the Wrath or not? Because I could play Eyes Out now and then the Archive Dragon and then, get wrecked if they have the Wrath effect. I think it's a rare. I'm going to counter this and I'm just gonna go for the win. Because this is of course a 2-turn victory quite easily for me. At least I do have the Restless Spire that will survive the Wrath effect. But this is the point here. I can just attack for a lot of damage. I'm not going to use this in any way now. I mean, I could deal 2 extra damage, but that doesn't matter now. They go down to 7 here. And these gatekeepers are not gonna do it for them. But if they have the rat now, then I will be in trouble. Okay, just a grasp of fate. That doesn't sound so bad. They actually don't seem to have another bargain effect for that. They do have multiple cooked ups. I need to figure out sideboard options too. So they pay 2 for that because of the ward here, and of course I am almost... They have only 1 card I don't know about. Only 1 card I don't know about. Because of course I have a lethal attack now, so I can do that. Let's try with the lethal. That's exactly 8 now. And if they deal with a 2 power, well no, I guess they would have dealt with that witch if they had an instant here. Anyway, a lot of enchantments. Well, blue and red don't really deal with enchantments, so let's scratch that. Disdainful Stroke can deal with the Neva, and of course these big 6/5s. I guess I'm gonna have the Disdainful Stroke here. Almost tempting to have the Bellowing Bruiser, but I don't think, especially on the draw, that I'm gonna have it. Quick Studies. This is the matchup that seems like I want to be drawing more cards. They have a bunch of removals. I'm going to play the Quick Study, maybe not the into the Fair Court. This... Oh no, they can have ways to remove it. I'm not going to play that. So I don't need a Scarecrow Guide in this matchup, and I'm also considering just cutting a land again. I think this makes sense. This is very similar kind of sideboarding as in match 1. Alright, let's go. Okay, this is a totally fine hand here. And it might be one of the games where I'm gonna play these as a 2-drop. Yeah, without access to more mana. That's definitely happening. Do they have anything else than planes here? Yes, they do. Protective Parents. Yeah, let's just Guess there's no like big rush here. I'm gonna see what they try to do. I'm not gonna torch the tower because that would also make me waste some mana here. I think I'm gonna play the Quick Study because I do want to hit my land drops here. I know I could have just made 2 of those 1-1s, but I felt like the land drop was better. Light plates there, it's fine. Let's get rid of that. And then I think I'm now gonna do this, and then I can have my counter spell up. I have only 1 mountain here, so my multiple red spells are a little bit awkward. Okay, there's more red in there, and then of course I can just get the tokens with this thing. Okay, even more red. Very tempting to play the dragon here. But I think I will not do that, because what I can do is I can play the Skewer Slinger and the Ratcatcher Trainee and have mana up for the Ice Out, because I can of course sacrifice one of my rats in here. So any spells? I mean, they have played 1 spell in this game. Actually 2. But still. Yeah, let's counter that, because of course I will need to deal with the 6/5 anyway. So bargain this, and I'm gonna of course sacrifice the one that was going to be targeted anyway. So I didn't save my token, but I was able to use my mana efficiently, and I don't have to worry about the 6/5 coming up. Alright, so now I will play the dragon. Because they might have another cooked up, but at least they used most of their mana to do that. And I get to scry too, which is relevant now when I don't need any lands. I'm still going to have the Torched Tower. I mean, it doesn't have any targets right now, but it's just so good. And if they play a cooped up on the dragon, I can still attack with the Spire, get more scries, and maybe even just consider playing this as a 3/4. Okay, there's a Grasp of Fate, which is gonna use up almost all the mana they have. They're only taking 4 damage here. But that's still... Oh, that's a good one. Still fine. I'm gonna play this as a... I mean, they could have another Gatekeeper, but I can actually kill it with double Torch the Tower. I just want to have more board presence here. Actually, I don't need to even do double the Torch Tower, because I can... Okay, another cooped up. Well, that's totally fantastic. This thing, by the way, doesn't bounce your own things. It's a creature you don't control, so I can't save my guys there. Given how this game has gone, I think I'm gonna scry now, rather than play this into a potential counterspell. And I do value the scry here quite a bit. Okay, stopgap. Yes, that is good. Because I can even stopgap the Grasp of Fate, it's a non-land permanent. And then, you know, of course, you know, I get to scry 2, and then they would have to use another 5 mana to deal with the dragon. All the while I'm dealing some damage to them. Okay. So there's no target for the stopgap other than this, so let's do like here. And I can still activate my land. Okay, they had a nice out. Let's do this then. They go down to 2 if they have nothing here. They have priority because of this activation. Okay, I don't need a land. Yep. They are down to 2. They dealt with most of the stuff, but I got this board presence earlier, so let's just try to bounce it first. If they counter it, I of course have my Torch the Tower here. I tapped mana badly here, by the way. I wasn't supposed to tap any mountains on the thing, but I think he's gonna... Because if they still had something, I couldn't have activated my land. Because, yeah, I was supposed to... Yes, I liked it. This thing actually, the auto-tapper chose to tap an island and a mountain. 2 islands was the thing given what I had in my hand. Because now, let's say they have an Archon's Glory there. Then I still will play the Torch Tower. But you know, in the end, these were lethal. I didn't need to activate it. But there was just still no reason to use the mountain for this thing. Anyhow, that was like a control mirror, but I got the small things early, and then we just, you know, used cards to get rid of each other's things. But it just, you know, it was enough that I had these little creatures, and of course the creature land too was fantastic. All right, that was a trophy deck. I think the deck was quite good, but I also felt like I was somewhat lucky about drawing the hatching plans, which I had only this time only one of in the deck, but I drew it a lot. But yeah, the Torch Tower, it's just such a nice card. How can I end up with 3 of them? Well, I can when people pass them. I don't think I don't think like anything needed changing in the deck. All of these cards were, you know, decent. I guess the Scarecrow Guide could have been another Alchemist or something like that, but I like this deck quite a bit. Cheap interaction, a lot of card draw, and good win conditions here too for matchups like the kind of grindy matchups which can happen in this format as well. Alright, well, this was that. Let's claim the nice prize in here, and I will see you in the next video in a couple of days. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.